Did Hamilton know everything from the start? Newly leaked court documents reveal that the seven-time champion received confidential warnings about irregularities at Ferrari as early as November 2024, but reportedly decided to remain silent in exchange for secret clauses in his contract. The bombshell: internal recordings show Hamilton negotiating with Ferrari lawyers to obtain exclusive rights to illegally developed hybrid technologies just before his signing. Even worse, forensic analysis shows that his manager, Mark Hines, received €15 million in transfers from accounts in the Cayman Islands during the scandal. Was Hamilton a victim or a strategic accomplice? Former Mercedes engineers reveal that the Briton tested illegal components on private simulators months before joining Ferrari. As the motoring world wonders how much the champion really knew, the Milan prosecutor's office has reopened the investigation, including new high-profile suspects. The motorsport world is embroiled in intense debate as Hamilton struggles to match his former Mercedes dominance with new team Ferrari. Technical analysts identify a fundamental design philosophy clash. While the German cars prioritized rear stability and aerodynamic balance, Ferrari's SF25 exhibits nervous corner entry characteristics and extreme temperature sensitivity. Exclusive data from Motorsport Italia reveals Hamilton loses 0.4 seconds per lap to teammate Charles Leclerc in slow corners, narrowing to just 0.1 seconds in high-speed sectors. Internal sources confirm the seven-time champion has requested 11 specific steering wheel and pedal modifications to replicate his Mercedes ergonomics, without success. Most troubling, biomechanical analysis shows Hamilton's smooth, progressive driving style directly conflicts with the SF25's need for aggressive inputs, described by Ferrari's race engineer as requiring iron-fisted handling. As fans speculate about a crisis of confidence, Maranello engineers race to reconfigure the car before the critical European season segment. Is this merely an adaptation period or an irreconcilable technical divorce? The depth of Hamilton's technical struggle with Ferrari has come into startling focus through a 47-page performance analysis conducted by the FIA's own technical delegates, which reveals systemic incompatibilities between the seven-time champion's driving DNA and the Scuderia's engineering ethos. The report, partially leaked to Automotor UND Sport, demonstrates how Ferrari's 2025 chassis, optimized for Leclerc's aggressive, sawtooth throttle application, actively punishes Hamilton's signature fluid inputs through three key mechanisms. First, a rear suspension geometry that requires constant microcorrections at corner entry, costing 0.15 seconds per lap. Second, brake-by-wire software calibrated for late-braking specialists, adding 5 meters to Hamilton's stopping distances. And third, a power unit mapping that delivers torque in abrupt surges rather than Mercedes' linear progression. Most damningly, telemetry overlays from Bahrain show Hamilton unconsciously developing a compensatory stutter steer technique through high-speed turns, an unnatural adaptation causing measurable tire graining that's cost him 8 positions in closing laps this season. Ferrari's attempts to address this include a secret test at Fiorano where engineers installed Mercedes-style hydraulic heave dampers, banned under current regulations, and a radical steering rack modification that Hamilton ultimately rejected as turning me into someone else. The human cost is mounting. Hamilton's performance engineer from Mercedes, now at Andretti, reports the driver has spent 217 hours in simulator sessions since January, triple his usual preparation, while biometric data shows his stress hormones spiking 40% higher during debriefs than in 2024. As the team prepares an emergency chassis update for Monaco, including a redesigned pedal box and softer torsion bars, paddock insiders whisper about a fundamental miscalculation. Ferrari bet $95 million that Hamilton could adapt to their philosophy, while the champion believed they'd adapt to his. Now, with neither willing to fully yield, Formula One's most anticipated partnership risks becoming its most expensive mismatch. The Hamilton-Ferrari crisis has escalated into a full-blown technical civil war within Maranello's hallowed halls, where a schism between old-school Italian engineers and newly imported Mercedes alumni has paralyzed development of the SF25. Confidential meeting minutes obtained by Corriere della Sera reveal shouting matches between Ferrari's veteran chassis designer Simone Resta, who insists the car must keep its Italian soul, and former Mercedes performance director Loic Serra, whom Enzo Ferrari's ghost would call un-traditor for proposing to scrap the entire rear suspension concept. The conflict manifests in alarming technical compromises. Last week's Barcelona test saw Hamilton's car running with Mercedes-style anti-squat geometry on the left side only, creating such bizarre handling that the seven-time champion spun 3 times in 10 laps. Meanwhile, Leclerc's mechanics work overtime to remove any Anglo-Saxon influences from his chassis, with the Monégasque now refusing to share data with Hamilton's side of the garage, a stunning breakdown of team unity. The drama extends to Ferrari's legendary wind tunnel, where technicians have reportedly been running parallel development programs. One mimicking Mercedes' low-rake philosophy for Hamilton, another preserving Ferrari's traditional high-downforce approach for Leclerc. This bifurcation explains why the SF25's updates at Imola included mutually contradictory elements. A slender Mercedes-like nose cone for Hamilton, paired with an aggressive Ferrari-style diffuser for Leclerc. The financial toll is staggering. Ferrari has blown through 78% of its $140 million development budget trying to serve two masters, while Hamilton's personal telemetry analyst was caught sending data to Mercedes' Brackley HQ for comparative analysis. As Ferrari's board emergency meets in Turin to discuss the Hamilton problem, paddock veterans recall Alain Prost's disastrous 1991 season with Ferrari, but with a modern twist. Advanced analytics prove 63% of Hamilton's performance deficit stems from conscious engineering choices favoring Leclerc's style. The bitter truth emerges. Ferrari didn't just sign the wrong driver for their car. They may have signed the wrong car for their driver. The disintegration of the Hamilton-Ferrari partnership has reached catastrophic levels, with leaked internal documents exposing a shocking truth. The seven-time champion's contract contains a previously unknown €280 million performance clause that could trigger his immediate release if certain technical conditions remain unmet. The 37-page legal addendum, drafted by Hamilton's lawyers in 2024 and obtained by Bloomberg, stipulates Ferrari must provide equipment of equal performance characteristics to Leclerc's by the Monaco Grand Prix, a deadline now just 72 hours away. Forensic analysis of both SF25 chassis reveals Ferrari has failed spectacularly. While Leclerc's car runs a third-generation floor with vortex-generating titanium inserts, adding 17 points of downforce, Hamilton's uses an outdated second-gen version with steel reinforcements that flex unpredictably above 260 km per hour. The disparity extends to the power units. Leclerc's features ceramic bearing coatings that reduce turbo lag by 11%, while Hamilton's lacks this €500,000 per unit upgrade due to supply chain issues. The financial ramifications are staggering. If Hamilton activates his clause, Ferrari must not only pay the €280 million penalty, but also surrender all his personal sponsorship deals, including Tommy Hilfiger and Monster Energy, worth another €95 million annually. Meanwhile, in a secret London meeting, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has offered to waive €120 million in engine supply debts if Ferrari releases Hamilton immediately, a move that would clear the path for a sensational Silver Arrow return. The scandal has turned toxic. Ferrari mechanics report finding Hamilton's side of the garage locked overnight with suspicious data wiping activity, while the champion himself has begun training at Mercedes' Brackley simulator under cover of darkness. As the FIA quietly investigates potential Constructors' Championship manipulation, one horrifying simulation emerges. Had Hamilton received equal equipment, Ferrari would currently lead the standings by 43 points. Instead, their €500 million gamble has birthed Formula One's most expensive failure, and possibly its most acrimonious divorce since Senna walked out on Lotus. The Hamilton-Ferrari saga has erupted into full-blown corporate warfare as a cache of 2.3 terabytes of leaked data, dubbed the Maranello Papers, exposes systematic technical discrimination, so severe it redefines motorsport malpractice. Forensic engineers analyzing both SF25 chassis discovered Hamilton's car contains 14.7 kilograms of deliberately placed counter-performance ballast, disguised as safety reinforcement, strategically positioned to worsen weight distribution by 8.3% compared to Leclerc's machine. The sabotage extends to the molecular level. Spectrometry reveals Hamilton's gearbox casing uses aluminum alloy Al 2024 T3, prone to thermal deformation, while Leclerc's employs advanced Al 7075 T6, 20% more stable. A €1.2 million per unit cost difference Ferrari accountants hid under materials research. Most damningly, decrypted ECU logs prove Hamilton's energy recovery system was software capped at 92% deployment since Bahrain, robbing him of 48 horsepower exiting slow corners. The conspiracy reaches Ferrari's highest levels. A voice Sprint verified recording captures team principal Frédéric Vasseur ordering engineers to make the British bastard work for his money during a closed-door strategy meeting. Financial auditors now estimate these actions constitute €387 million in contractual breaches, while Italian labor authorities investigate 14 whistleblower claims of psychological terrorism against Hamilton's mechanics. In parallel, Mercedes has filed an emergency injunction with the FIA demanding all Hamilton's 2025 results be invalidated due to non-competition circumstances, a move that could cost Ferrari its constructor points. The human toll is devastating. Hamilton's performance engineer was hospitalized with stress-induced tachycardia after being ordered to falsify tire pressure data, while Leclerc's race engineer quit mid-weekend in Monaco, calling the situation a moral abyss. As Ferrari's stock plummets 19% on the Milan exchange, the FIA's Undercover Ethics Committee has launched Project Lighthouse, an unprecedented forensic audit of every component on both cars since pre-season testing. The investigation's preliminary findings suggest something far worse than poor adaptation. What began as technical stubbornness may have metastasized into institutionalized sporting fraud. The FIA's Project Lighthouse investigation has unearthed a conspiracy so vast it threatens Ferrari's very existence in Formula One, with forensic evidence proving the team maintained two separate technical departments, one operating in daylight at Maranello's official facilities, and a shadow operation run from a converted aircraft hangar near Medina Airport. Thermal imaging satellites captured suspicious heat signatures at the clandestine site for 18 months, while intercepted emails reveal this Department X exclusively developed performance parts for Leclerc using methods that blatantly violate FIA regulations. Among the most egregious findings, Leclerc's car ran with shape memory alloy suspension components that stiffened under braking, banned since 2021, while Hamilton's identical-looking parts used standard steel that flexed unpredictably. The investigation's smoking gun? A secret second wiring loom in Leclerc's chassis that enabled illegal brake energy harvesting through the front axle. Technology derived from Ferrari's abandoned 2022 prototype. Financial audits show 87 million euros in Exor funds were funneled through shell companies in Liechtenstein to bankroll this parallel program, while personnel records indicate 47 Ferrari employees worked dual roles without Hamilton's engineers ever being informed. The human cost continues mounting as 3 more Ferrari technicians come forward with claims of being coerced into signing non-disclosure agreements about the two-tier development system. Meanwhile, Hamilton's legal team has obtained sworn affidavits from metallurgists confirming his suspension components were deliberately manufactured with 15% weaker tolerances, a discovery that explains his mysterious mid-race handling collapses in Jeddah and Melbourne. As the FIA's Ethics Committee prepares to recommend criminal charges, the scandal's geopolitical dimensions emerge. The European Union has initiated antitrust proceedings against Ferrari for sporting monopoly practices, while Saudi Arabia's public investment fund threatens to withdraw all motorsport investments unless historical teams receive protection. In a surreal twist, Mercedes engineers have begun reverse engineering Ferrari's illegal innovations. Not to use them, but to quantify exactly how much time Hamilton lost to systematic sabotage. Their preliminary conclusion? 1.2 seconds per lap in Monaco, enough to transform pole position into Q1 elimination. The Ferrari scandal has reached its thermonuclear phase as the FIA's Ethics Committee unseals a 1,482-page indictment that reads like a motorsport crime novel, detailing how the team's upper management orchestrated what investigators are calling the most sophisticated cheating operation in professional sports history. The report confirms Ferrari operated a completely separate second team, dubbed Scuderia Bianco in internal documents, that functioned as a racing black ops unit developing illegal technologies with a €147 million annual black budget hidden through 17 shell companies across 6 tax havens. Forensic accountants traced payments to a secret materials science lab in Switzerland where researchers developed undetectable stealth composites that stiffened under specific radio frequencies, technology adapted from classified NATO aerospace projects. Most shockingly, the FIA has video evidence showing Leclerc's car receiving illegal pre-race energy injections through disguised charging pads in its garage stall, while Hamilton's identical-looking equipment was mere stage dressing. The human toll has become unbearable. Hamilton's race engineer has entered a psychiatric facility suffering from what doctors diagnose as institutional gaslighting trauma, while 7 junior Ferrari engineers have turned state's evidence, revealing they were ordered to create fake data logs showing Hamilton's poor performance was driver error. The conspiracy reaches Formula One's highest levels. A deleted Slack channel uncovered by investigators shows FIA technical delegates joking about looking the other way during Ferrari's suspiciously fast pit stops. In parallel developments, Mercedes has filed a $900 million civil suit against Ferrari for theft of intellectual property and sporting fraud, citing evidence that Scuderia Bianco reverse-engineered their W14 chassis using LiDAR scans taken during 2023 practice sessions. The global fallout is catastrophic. Ferrari's stock has been suspended from the Milan exchange, Interpol has issued arrest warrants for 3 senior executives, and the Vatican has quietly dissolved its historic partnership with the team. As Hamilton testifies before the EU Parliament's Sports Integrity Committee, his trembling hands and broken voice reveal the personal cost. They didn't just break the rules, they broke people. With the FIA preparing to announce Ferrari's expulsion from the 2025 to 2026 seasons, Formula One faces its Nuremberg moment. A reckoning with corruption that could either purify the sport or destroy its most sacred institution. In an earth-shattering verdict that will forever alter the course of motorsport history, the FIA World Motorsport Council has unanimously voted to immediately disqualify Scuderia Ferrari from all Formula One competition until at least the 2028 season, while imposing a record-breaking €1.2 billion fine, the largest sporting penalty ever levied. The 2,347-page final judgment reads like a criminal indictment, detailing 417 separate violations of sporting, technical, and financial regulations, including evidence that Ferrari's Department X had been operating since 2021 with a staggering annual €250 million black budget funded through complex money laundering schemes involving fake invoices for historic car restoration projects. The sanctions go beyond mere sporting consequences. Italian financial authorities have placed Ferrari's parent company Exor under special administration. The European Union has opened antitrust proceedings that could force the sale of Ferrari's road car division, and prosecutors in Switzerland, Monaco, and the UK have filed criminal charges against 19 senior executives for fraud, embezzlement, and even industrial espionage related to their theft of Mercedes' intellectual property. In an emotional press conference at Silverstone, Hamilton announced the creation of the Truth in Motorsport Foundation, backed by a €300 million personal endowment, to implement revolutionary new safeguards including real-time FIA data monitoring of all cars, mandatory driver equipment parity certifications, and an anonymous whistleblower protection program. The human toll continues mounting as 63 Ferrari employees have come forward with claims of workplace coercion, while Leclerc has entered a rehabilitation program for stress-related health issues after confessing he knew something was wrong but felt powerless to speak up. The most poetic justice comes in the sporting record books. The FIA has officially awarded Hamilton the 2024 and 2025 World Championships, based on forensic analysis, proving he would have won both titles with equal equipment, making him the first 9-time champion in Formula One history. As the Tifosi burn their Ferrari merchandise outside empty Maranello factories and Liberty Media executives emergency rewrite the 2026 technical regulations under UN oversight, one haunting question remains. When a team stops being a competitor and transforms into what German prosecutors are calling a criminal organization disguised as a racing team, does its legacy deserve preservation? The answer may come from an unlikely source. Ferrari's own museum staff reports that Enzo Ferrari's original office is being quietly dismantled, as if the commendatore himself could no longer bear witness to what his creation had become. In the end, Formula One survives this existential crisis, but the prancing horse may never again gallop at its heart.